So, your formidable curiosity has set its sights on nightmares?
Yes, specifically about the origin of the nightmare legends in a historic context, and any studies examining the relationship between those legends in the course of Andruna's development, or their influence on contemporary powers abuse pathologies among dreamkeepers. Also, if there's anything about how to kill nightmares, in theory, that would be great.
An unconventional topic, but there ought to be some content. No? Yes? Volunteers. Even elementary data entry is too onerous a task to adequately. I know we have the volumes which reference the topic, but you'll have to manually pull them. Check the history wing. Level 2 around the 4th ring. Sorry for the trouble, Lilith.
No, that's perfect. Thanks, Mr. Peaks. Is it okay if I leave some bags behind the desk with you? Only until I'm done.
Certainly. To be absolutely earnest, I somewhat relish the prospect of aiding and abetting, as it were.
Listen, about those news stories,
Don't begin, Lilith. I recall spring of 3 years ago when you returned a book bearing a single creased page, and I endured heartfelt apologies for weeks. If the news ever starts talking sense, perhaps I'll countenance listening. In the meanwhile, happy hunting.
Oh, impeccable timing, little scholar. I was just in the midst of closing up for the eve. I trust you located the object of your queries. Well, yes and no. I found a range of different document files, but all of them had the exact same content, word for word.
I beg pardon? That's simply inconceivable. Our files are... Well, that's rather generic, isn't it?
If you want to look through the other files, I copied them on here, but they're all the same.
This is a most bizarre filing error. You did check through the hard copy.
The books and scrolls themselves are gone. That's what was taking me so long. I looked everywhere.
Unprecedented and disturbing. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. I shall be mentioning this at the next committee oversight hearing, rest assured. The inept assistants they foist upon me have made their last grave error.
Sure, but what are we...
Replacements for those volumes must be procured at once. It is the Tower Library's sacred duty to protect all knowledge and literature. Hark, Lilith.
It is our penultimate task to search the repository for the original writings themselves.
The repository? Consider my aid enlisted, but...
But nothing. I am on official business, Lilith.
And you are my most qualified aide. Now come. Most of those volumes will be found in the prehistory annex, off the north spiral.
Mr. Peaks, do you really think those documents were just misfiled somehow? I'm worried that everything was removed intentionally. What if even the repository copies are gone?
Unlikely in the extreme.
Why would anyone care to expunge such an arcane topic?
Oh, I could think of a few reasons.
Well, under the worst of scenarios...
We could always put our faith in the infallible archives, I suppose.
The archives? Is that another section of the library?
Lilith, I'm nonplussed. Do you mean to tell me an aspiring literati like yourself is yet unfamiliar with that most hallowed of literary legends? I suppose most obscure of literary legends could be an equally apt identifier. Well, it was all the rage in earlier times.
So, how does it relate to library records?
Well, a fitting place to relate the account, isn't it? There is a legend, Lilith, of a secret chamber buried somewhere underneath the towers.
Dating back, some say, to 0 AD, or even before, in prehistory. A chamber filled with the knowledge of the ages, with the missing histories and writings of Andruna's ancestors. Nobody has yet uncovered this chamber, of course, and digging around the tower foundations is illegal at this point. But the story has persisted through the generations due to its interactive element. As the story goes, the builders of the archives developed a mechanism to allow future generations to add to the cache of knowledge. A secret tunnel or tube that scholars and writers of ages past would drop their works into. When the Sabaton Towers were built, they extended the purported tubing network all the way up the structure into the heart of our modern library.
So, you mean this tube actually leads to... According to legend, none of it has ever been verified, of course.
Now, while you apply yourself to the research at hand, I must attend to the completion of my lock-up responsibilities. I shall assist you once my more mundane duties have been fulfilled.
Thanks, Mr. Peaks. I think this will really help.
Wow. Well, better get started.